I heard from Z yesterday. He's might not be able to make it. He's actually in a hospital in Munich. His Crohn's flared up, and he's been under a lot of stress lately, I guess. So he is not going to be flying while he's in Europe. So I think he will stick around the Germany, Austria, Switzerland area, and I don't know that he will be present for the July on site.
At all?
Oh no.
Yeah, his schedule is being reworked, is what he said. So I don't believe he will be flying around Europe. So I think he might just be, yeah, he is going to make room for the project in his schedule. This is definitely a priority, but I don't know that he will be able to make it to Barcelona.
Oh man, that is hard. Okay, well, we'll have to. I mean, I hope he'll call in like every day.
Yeah, I'm sure. He said this is still a priority, and we have lots of topics to discuss. So hopefully he'll be able to make those whatever the core work hours are. I'm sure he will be able to join in. He said it's still a priority. He's just physically unable for air travel at the moment.
Shit.
Yeah, unfortunate.
Is he needing to not leave the hospital, or is it just air travel is a problem?
He didn't go into a lot of detail, but I don't think he'll be in the hospital the whole time. It sounded like his plans are now like Munich, Vienna, Zug, and Berlin, because he can train to all of those locations. But I'm sure it will be evolving over the next couple of days.
Well, I'm pretty sure you can take the train to Barcelona from.
Yeah, but
Munich
it's
as well.
It's a day-long train for sure.
It is. Yeah.
I'm sure he will make happen whatever is possible to make happen. But that is the state at the moment, anyway.
Well, I wonder what he's doing that week before. I mean, we could go. I mean, I could go to Zug. That's pretty easy.
Yeah, I told him I was super flexible to accommodate anything as well. So I guess we can see. I don't know that he knows too much right now. I think he's just still in the hospital, but he said he's going to be reworking his schedule, and he will keep me posted. So
yeah, I mean, it would be pretty magical if we could all meet on the 14th to 16th, like in Zug or in Munich or somewhere, so that we can talk Common Stack Analytic Dashboard and some of these other important pieces, that are really blank spots right now.
Yeah.
Well, you're not even getting to Europe till the 15th.
Yeah. So 15th, 16th, 17th.
Cool. I'll just mention him that we are free to go to him.
Yeah, at least in that week before the sync.
Yeah. Cool. Anything else on July on-site that we need to discuss?
Well, that's pretty big news. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't have any like big updates. Just still awaiting people's details in the sheet. Coach B.
Yeah, Coach B, do you know when you're arriving?
No, because I couldn't book the flights yet because my dog is not taken care of right now. So I need to.
You have to figure out a dog sitter.
Yeah, because I was hoping for my sister, but she's not around as well, at least not for the whole week. So then I have it covered to the 25th, but then on the 25th I would have to be back, and that's in the middle of everything. So.
Oh man, can you just bring your dog
on a plane? Oh, I wouldn't do that.
No, that's terrible. And it's probably even more hot in your place than here. So
That's true.
he's gonna die.
So we're missing Coach B and Spanette, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, and I just I sent it to Griff as well. Like I actually, for very similar reasons, like cat sitting situations and so on, I'm not gonna drive to Barcelona. I'm gonna fly. So I booked a flight.
Okay.
There is a Commons Stack July on-site agenda document that's coming up, so that's cool. I mean, if anyone has any topics that they want to make sure gets covered, we should definitely put it in there.
Multi-sig.
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 Should be on there.
Cool. Okay, so narrative and launch doc.
Yeah, so these are all coming together. I would say the last one that needs some work is the iteration strategy doc, but the system overview is 98% there. The fundraise doc is 98% there. And yeah, I was hoping to have them all done by the end of this week. Unfortunately, I've got to get on a train almost right after this meeting and go meet Outlier. So the rest of my day is kind of shot. But I will be working on these over the weekend, and I anticipate having them ready to send out to our first round by early next week. Yeah, I think they're coming together well. The narrative has been evolving, the glossary has been evolving, and of course those will get kind of a polish once the main docs are done. So yes, these have been my top priority for a while and will remain to be until they're done.
So if so, the iteration strategy is the one that probably needs a little bit most work.
Iteration strategy still needs the most work. Yes.
Cool.
We were talking about joining that one with the fundraising one, but I think there's enough information in the fundraising doc now. And yeah, it would be nice to. I'll spend a bit more time on the iteration doc today with Chris.
Well, I love your drawings.
Yeah, I've been drawing up a storm, and a lot of them need tweaking, unfortunately, from our. But anyway, they're in there. First step.
5 and 6 is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all
Yeah. Did you and Amy talk more? Because you guys were gonna talk this week about.
She never reconnected. She mentioned she was going on holiday, and then I just grabbed the phone thing and the box thing and started copying and pasting and
Oh, I gotta look at this.
Yeah, and I think it's a thing we discussed about it. Jeff and I talked about it yesterday as well, and Griff mentioned it before. It makes sense that we're still tweaking the stuff. It's best to keep on tweaking and work with Jeff's fun drawings before Amy draws something out that's more final.
Yeah.
And I took that to heart that we should be iterating our rough diagrams before we start handing them off to design. And yeah, I iterated the puzzle pieces again, so each of them just had a simple icon, like a $sign for the bonding curve, a question mark for conviction voting, this arrow piping for the Giveth DApp, and a pie chart for the Commons dashboard. But again, these are rough first go. Don't have to stay like this by any means. Just trying to get the ideas out of my head and onto these in a first go before we decide on anything for sure.
Wait, which doc is this in? Which of your articles?
The CS Iteration Strategy Explainer is the title of the document.
Drop it here. Oops.
And I love the drawings. I kind of miss the old kind of fuzzy lines. It's now it's too straight of puzzle pieces. But
I found out how to use a ruler on the computer.
Yeah, that's not a good thing. It's not as cool. It was nice when it was kind of freehand,
That's what you liked about it. All right, well, I gotta go in and tweak a lot of these anyway. So I'll do that on the train today. I'll have my computer and my
Well, the train will be perfect. It'll make it nice and
Yeah.
organic.
Yeah, that ruler won't help you then.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Anything else that we want to talk about on this narrative? I mean, obviously, if you guys want to have an input on the name,
Mhm.
it's in there. That's a good place to click and just like, put comment only and bold some words that you like.
Mhm.
Share.
Mhm.
Wait. Sorry, I have a question about the strategy explainer. Are you just not going to use the puzzle illustrations that we paid for altogether?
Well, that was the question. So I mean, I had them both in here, and I mean, I would love to iterate on those diagrams to include like all of these new like icons for each component, but I didn't want to incur more costs and iterations until we are secure
Until we're
on which one
final.
we're going to use.
Yeah. I mean, in the end, we went too early to the designers.
For sure.
So
But like, how important are the icons on the puzzle pieces? Or is this like is the icon for like augmented bonding curve and icon for conviction voting? Are those going to be like something that we want to be using throughout our? Like, we want to have an icon for these, and it'll show up in our branding in several places.
I would say the main issue is the lack of iteration 5 and iteration 6 diagrams. And with the drawing version of 5 and 6, I just figured it was better to stay consistent with those diagrams through 1 through 4 as well. So I mean, I'm also trying to remove, I want to get these done as soon as possible, and I don't want to introduce more back and forth and cost in the design side. I know these aren't perfect, but I think for a very rough first draft, I'm happy with where they're at.
Sure. I just thought you were gonna take Amy's puzzle pieces and put them on a phone and put them coming out of a box.
Yeah, but that is because the icons and all those things, they still evolved afterwards. And so like Jeff's logic and the details on it are evolving quicker than Amy can catch up to it.
Yeah, we're just not ready to outsource to a designer. We're not prepared. We would fail and it would slow us down. So I think we take the sunk costs, we pay Amy, we tell her sorry, we'll try again when we get our shit together.
Yeah, and I think to answer that question, Laura, I think definitely like using an icon to say this is the GiveItApp fund escrow, this is continuous decision making, this is operational analytics. Having icons for that in our communication and our branding at some point, hell yes, because it's easy to explain, but it was just a little bit too early.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the narrative doc.
And I think it's also graphic design, unless there's anything else we want to talk about that.
Graphic design, nope, nothing else on that front. I've chatted with Max about tweaking our presentation decks prior to Web3 and TEG and all the insanity going on in August. He said he would be game for that. That's something they've done quite a bit with Block Science and other people. It would probably be 50 to 80 hours is his approximation, and that would be taking the deck and all the content in it. Of course, the deck that we have is very out of date now. So once these documents are finished, Chris, I think our next thing to tackle will be getting the newly formatted information from these docs into a slide deck in summary form. And then that can go to Max at Magic Powered. He also requested that I basically record a demo pitch so they can hear what the main points that we are trying to discuss, look at the deck, and then create kind of a polished one that we can use for TEG and Web3 and all of the upcoming presentations for the Common Stack.
Yeah, and I think it's probably going to be easy, Jeff, if you and me and whoever wants to help, like that, we create then that updated deck first,
Yes.
and not just like an oral recording of what you want to say,
Definitely.
because otherwise we're going to be in the same situation that he wastes too much time to understand what we actually want to say.
Totally.
Maybe one more thing on the because I was just looking at like everything you integrated from yesterday evening and the day before. So the iteration strategy became simpler, and so the fundraise plan explainer, I don't know if you mentioned it before, but it's also, I don't know if you saw, Griff, that we made that way more visual by just a table and
Yeah.
not having everything repeated every time, because that was a lot of information to
Yeah, the
grasp.
table's great.
Yeah, it's just a table with under it an explanation of what the table elements mean, and then you see it in like one view. Oh yeah, that's iteration 1 to 6.
Yep.
Okie doke.
Cool. Timing strategy. So I don't think there's anything new on this. We are keeping with the soft raise through the summer. Just to summarize for anybody who hasn't caught this yet, soft raise through the summer, but we are moving into hard fundraising mode starting at TEG and going through September. September 30th is going to be our, I believe, our at least tentative date for returning the $1 million if we have not raised it yet. But we will be getting these soft commitments through the summer, and then make sure that we have like a high visibility launch and beginning of donations or contributions in August.
And we could move, and so this is a debate. I see someone made a comment here. Yes, there is something lost. Who made that comment? Was it one of us or?
Which
comment?
Under timing strategy, there's like a greater than symbol, and then yes, there is something lost. I guess I can look at maybe history.
That I think that was Lorelei, but that was also a couple of weeks ago.
Oh,
we did discuss that.
Okay. Because I mean, we could make it October 15th. October 15th would allow us to do some fundraising at DevCon if necessary, but then it also extends this extends the length of our FOMO, decreasing the FOMO.
But yeah, DEFCON is where you will probably, because you will be gone for quite a long time actually during that slow funding raise period, Griff, but you're like also the person with the huge network. So like DEFCON will be the place where you will be talking to many of those whales who could actually give us money, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and the thing is, it's like September 30th is the hard line for giving back the money. It's not necessarily the end of our fundraising. In fact, it's definitely not the end of our fundraising. So,
but we are also choosing this.
Yeah.
This date. Like, I mean, would you rely on, such a decent chunk of the funds coming from connections at DevCon that it would jeopardize that 1 mil marker by the 30th?
Man, I would hope that we wouldn't have any trouble getting the 1 mil by the 30th, but it's there's a lot of factors involved, so it would definitely be safer to say October 15th.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but then we lose the FOMO fun in TEG, So.
Well, and a question on that, on the FOMO fund, because first you won't be there to create the FOMO, so it's Jeff and it's Sargon. Will you be there as well, Bernd?
No, but I think Sponette will be there.
Okay. Yeah, it's like that. I just wanted to timing wise, just raise that point once more. Like, I hope you will, that we don't count too much on getting FOMO over the summer, or especially knowing that the biggest FOMO creator, Griff Green, will not be there.
Yeah, it's true.
That worries me a bit.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I mean, this is still like we still have to get to the point where we can launch it in August. So we're so close, but we haven't even done the soft launch yet. So all these dates are still fuzzy. Are they actually in the documentation anywhere?
No.
Yeah. So
No.
we're still working on it.
Yeah, there's been no mentions of dates or specifics regarding that in the documents yet.
I mean, if we can get some soft agreements, and we can get more than 100K or more than 1 million soft agreements from people, then it's pretty easy to do the September 30th and go full on and get that first, the goal would be that we get people to agree to donate to us, right before tag, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, it would be good during the presentations that Jeff has or that Sargam has, like when you talk about all of this, that you can say, we already have that project and that project that committed to contributing in however you want to phrase it, but that to start that FOMO wave, right?
Yeah, I mean, I actually think launching it like a day before tag and having a successful batch of people that already donated, and being able to go up there and give the victory speech, basically, of we just launched yesterday and we already are halfway to our goal of $1 million, and we are super excited to bring this to you. And if we don't raise the last half by September 30th, then we will give the money back. But we're hoping that you guys can get us to our goal and we can release open source CAD as soon as we get the 1 mil, and we can
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Should we move on to Binance Fellowship? We got 10 minutes left to finish off our agenda here.
Yeah, I think so. Binance Fellowship, we just need to update the project doc, and that's all good. I should be talking with Parker here, if not today, tomorrow. So, and see if we can get him involved in this at all. But at least Flow seemed interested and happy to keep pushing, so that's great. It sounds like we might have a chance. What about advisor meeting in Berlin?
Yep. So I have been talking to the Technical University Berlin, and looking at a room. Rooms cost anywhere from 144 to 500 euros. There are some pretty large ones and a few smaller ones. So I think a smaller one will make sense. I think so. Anyway, I'm just putting some numbers in here to make sure our budget on this is okay. It'll probably be about 150 for the room, maybe another 150 to 100 for projector and cleanup. So that's like 250 per location. And then catering is looking to be like 500, and that was pretty light. So I would say like 500, 750. So maybe €1,000 budget total for this advisor meeting. Does that sound reasonable? I haven't really put on an event like this before, so I don't know what the budget is looking to be, but I would say all told, it shouldn't cost us more than €1,000.
Wait, so it's 150 for the room, and then where did you get the rest of the money from?
So there may be an extra fee for projector and AV setup. And also cleaning. If we have catering, there is a cleaning fee for afterwards. So I'm still in the process. I have to fill out the actual TU University form and say, hey, this is who I am. This is what I'm doing. And then they're going to provide me a quote on everything that's needed. We did get a couple of options for the room, which I can show you guys if you want to see. But I think there's one. I mean, one is way cheaper and it's smaller, but I think it's good enough for our purposes.
Nice.
Share my screen quickly. So this is the room. We're thinking there's the door. No, I'm just kidding. It's a square, plenty of seats. I don't think there's an additional table, but I mean, we could probably put refreshments on one side and then seat everybody else around. They said we could put a projector on the wall to be able to explain the concepts. And that's 150 odd euros. All the others are like lecture halls and they're like 500 euros. So I think that's a bit overkill for our purposes.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, probably 150 to 250 for the room and then 500 to 750 for catering. So I would say an upper budget of 1,000 euros.
Okay.
Does that seem reasonable?
I think I'm surprised that it's always surprising to me that catering is so expensive. I just don't
Yeah.
get it, right?
I also reached out to the EU team. They have also their own catering options. So this was Beets and Roots. So this is the Gnosis catering company that they use for their office. So I'm going to get another quote through TU and see if they're any cheaper or anything like that. But
Cool.
I'm sure it will add up.
For how many people is it?
20 people.
So it's $25 a pop. I mean, it's fine, I guess. It's like if it's a really nice meal, then maybe it's worth it. But
It is looking very nice for for Beets and Roots. I also got a menu from them, but maybe I'll compare it with the quote when I get that, and then we can compare back to back with another option.
yeah, I mean,
And then just to reference this, Griff, do you have it on the top of your head what our overall budget is for gatherings? Like if we just make the first milestone or the first.
I think it's 10K.
Okay. And that's for 8 months.
Yeah, I mean, basically, it's just for the first 2 gatherings, and then we don't have any more.
But
But that's also assuming that we don't have any extra buffer, right? Like,
right.
you know, if we only raise exactly 1 million, it's going to be tight, and we're going to have to be really cut everything, you know. But if we raise more than 1 million, then we have extra space. You know, we can start inching into what we allocated for the second one.
Sure. But you say the first 2 gatherings, and you mean the on-site and the investor meeting, right?
Basically, yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Cool. Common Stack presentations, I guess will be a discussion with Max. Nothing new here. The POC front end demo. I don't believe. Well, I guess we missed our last user stories meeting with Sponet. So Griff, maybe we should reschedule that at some point. Works with Sponet. And I think that is it. Or supplier agreements. Is there something we need?
Wait, can we go back a second again?
Yeah,
Sorry,
sure.
I thought of another question.
Yeah.
So if people are flying to meet Zargam during the week before the meetup, like, is that gonna be covered travel expenses? In which case, our like gathering expenditures would fatten up real quick if we're buying another set of flights for people.
I mean, a flight from Barcelona to Zug is $50, but yeah.
Always,
I mean, we can check, but yeah,
like at the last minute and stuff, it's still cheap.
it's definitely less than 100.
Okay.
Hey,
Where
I'll
do you find
be right
those
back.
flights? Because I only find $300 going from Zurich to Barcelona.
You're only finding $300
Yeah,
with Skyscanner, man.
yeah, that's what I looked at.
Let's see, what date would that be? Probably
Next week.
The 15th, or yeah.
Yeah, and still you'll have to check with Zargam if he's up for that. If he's like in the hospital with Crohn's disease, there's a reason for that, and maybe he just needs some rest as well.
Yeah. It's a
yeah.
good point, Chris.
He might not be in Zug. He might be in Munich or something. So I mean, I see on the 15th for $107 without on my first look.
One way or back and forth?
Oh, one way. Yeah.
Okay.
Munich looks
$83.
more expensive.
$83 on the 16th.
Yeah, because I had 88 and 124, and that adds up to 300 something.
$57 on the 17th.
Cool.
But Z is in Munich, right? So it would be flying there.
I think we have too many questions and not enough detail.
Yeah, for sure.
Supplier agreements, though? Was there anything else?
Oh, I have not worked on this week. I've been super diving in to finish this video in Tijuana. And I don't have updates from when we had our last meeting talking about it. But I can just refresh the status there that that we have basically like a developer supplier agreement that's software focused and a non-dev one, and the process for that, like Jeff, Coach B, Griff, and I will be the ones going through it first with writing out our accountabilities in order to make it into like a detailed milestone for these contracts. And it's like, I think all in all, like when I start the conversation, it will be like at least a 5-day process, asking them to like back and forth about their accountabilities they're filling, and then being able to review that with those who have expectations of them, and then making a detailed contract out of that, and then signing it. And what I'm hearing is we might be moving the date on supplier agreements, the date of starting work, because currently it says this will begin when we raise 986K, 84K, or September 30th, I believe. And so, yeah, just if you guys decide to move to October 15th, I'll need to edit contracts before any are signed, I guess.
I thought it said September 15th, whichever is later. But either way, we'll get there. Action steps. I mean, we're a little over now, but are there any action steps that we should record? I have some for Max on the website. But.
My top ones are already in there, and I will be working on those until they're done.
And I'll be there along with Jeff. So I'll be working on the rereading all the documents that Jeff worked on last night. That's my action steps, I guess. Yeah.
Cool. It looks like we have a few more people that responded to the Google form, so that's cool.
Oh, Griff, one for you if possible, because I have a credit card bill that's gonna drop and I cannot fund it. If you could fill that milestone that I submitted to you.
Into the comment for the comment stack or for
yeah for the comment stack.
Okay, cool.
Thanks.
Everyone who spends time to fill the form is all less than 5,000 of donation. That's kind of too bad.
So Laura, was there anything that I still need to contribute to the agreements?
I don't know. My brain has been like really sucked into another project this week. Like I haven't looked at the supplier agreements in the past couple days, so
Sure.
I'll let you know. It's like after I leave Tijuana today, I'll be able to focus on this again. So
Well, maybe just making yourself one of the first beta testers and doing the supplier agreement would be good. Jeff already did a run, so maybe.
I actually did. So
yeah, I think Griff was talking to me, telling me to make myself an experimenter. I'm assuming because yeah, you and I already did that. You're the furthest one along in the process, Coach B.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, all my action steps are in there as well. Coach B, I guess the one thing is talking to Max about the websites and all that.
yeah, no, I'm already started on the document because I had a document already made before with the old process, and I'm changing it right now. So that's good.
Cool. Well, cool guys. Have Jeff have fun with Eden or with the Outlier team.
Yeah,
and,
for sure.
Lorelai, have a nice flight.
Thanks.
Everyone else.
Bye.
Hey, Griff, enjoy your going back to bed, but you're on the East Coast now.
Yeah, I still wouldn't mind an extra hour. I'm gonna have lunch with Luke. I'm gonna have lunch with Luke today and talk a lot Common Stack. I'm talking to a lawyer too. He does a bunch of DAO stuff.